how we earned $14,415 from one intro to firearms class and how you guys can do it too. This is going to be your step-by-step guide on exactly how to do exactly what we did. And so on Saturday, April 4th, here in Ocala, Florida, we had 80 people walk into a room. They each paid $37 to be there. And by the time they left, it was $14,415 in one day. And so first, I want to set the stage a little bit and kind of talk to you guys about Florida, because a lot of people that are going to be seeing this later on in the training vault or see it online, they're going to say, well, my state's different. Well, my location's different. Well, we just went constitutional carry. Our laws just changed. And so nobody wants training anymore. And that's just complete BS, because Florida went constitutional carry. And everybody in Florida knows that there's no permit required. Okay, everyone said it would kill demand for classes, but they were 100% wrong. And how do I know? Because I tested two different ad angles and I let the data tell the exact story. And so the first angle that I tested on Facebook was concealed carry focused, right? Versus not concealed carry focused. And so I tested ads that say, hey, come get your concealed carry permit, versus ads that say, hey, come get started with your firearm training. When I'm looking at my results, even though Florida recently went constitutional carry, open carry, permitless carry, the whole deal, right? Even though that happened, the concealed carry focused angle was the clear winner. I had 45 acquisitions at a cost of $33.70 per acquired customer on that side. It was the clear winner against the non-concealed carry focus, right? The ads of this one would basically say, hey, let's get you started in your firearm journey. I want you to be carrying comfortably. I didn't say anything about a concealed carry permit, and my cost per registration was $80.98, 2.5 times more expensive. And so even if a state has gone in a direction of constitutional carry or non-constitutional carry, even if you're advertising in a different space rather than firearms, and the laws change, that doesn't mean the demand is going to change. And so the process from cold stranger to buying students, okay, it looks a lot more complicated here than it actually is. And so the first step is the Facebook ad, right? So that's how they found out about the program. Then they go to a landing page, which is in Momentum HQ. They buy for $37. During the process of purchasing for $37, they get an order bump for $27. I'll explain what that is later. An upsell for $149, a confirmation page, and then they come to class. And so this is what ultimately brought 80 students into the room. We had 3,200 views, 66 orders, and $4,418 in pre-course revenue. So before the event happened, $4,418 back in the pocket of the business. And so the first thing I want to remind you guys of, because I know I talk about this a lot, but I've never really broken it down on the screen, and it is a little bit dark. We're gonna tighten up the colors on the camera here. But the ads manager in Facebook, you need to set that up for decision-making data. And so I broke that down into this PowerPoint, but basically it's results. Did the ad do the thing? Your cost per result, which is your North Star. Your amount spent, which is the total budget that you've consumed. Your cost per click, how many people engaged in your ad. Your clicks, which are the total engagements. CTR all, which is the total amount of people that saw your ad and then clicked on it, the percentage of people that saw your ad and then clicked. Your outbound clicks, which are people that leave Facebook and go to your website. Your outbound click-through rate, which is the percentage of people that see your ad, engage with it, and leave Facebook. Post comments, just to keep an idea of what people are saying, and your frequency. That said, this is your decision-making data, and your ad account should be set up to show this data: results, cost per result, amount spent. You don't need to see anything else but this data on your screen. I mean, honestly, you don't need to see anything else. Facebook will inundate you with data so that you continue to spend money because you don't understand the results, but this is all you need. And so when you set up your ad account, that's all you need. And we have talked about this a lot, but I finally have put this down into the PowerPoint. The 3 metrics that diagnose everything. Your CTR all, you need to have greater than 3%. This is the North Star metric for if your ad's working or not is that you need to have it greater than 3%. Your outbound CTR, which is the amount of people that leave Facebook, needs to be greater than 1. And then your cost per result should be less than you receive from your initial offer product. And what I mean by that, let me go back a few slides. What I mean by that is your cost per result, okay, should be less than what you are having them purchase in what's called your IOP. Your IOP is your initial offer product. It's the first thing you have for sale, right? The first thing that you're selling is your IOP. The very first thing, initial offer product, IOP. It's the very first thing that people buy. This should be your, what we call a tripwire. And a tripwire, imagine in the woods, right? You've got a line connected to a tree, another line connected to another tree, and as people are walking by, they trip it, grenade goes off, everybody dies, big deal, okay? In the marketing world, we call it tripwire. It's kind of the same principle, is that they're just walking along their own thing on Facebook and they come across almost a trap. It's an offer that's so great that they can't say no, right? And so your initial offer product does not have to be the thing that you make money on. And in our case, it's not, right? And in our case, it's not. It's the idea of just getting people through the door. It's just getting people through the door. And so your cost per result, the idea is that your cost per result is less money than your IOP. That's what everybody strives for. But a big secret in the marketing world is that it's okay to not make money on your first sale. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. It is okay for you not to make money off your first sale. It is okay for your cost per acquisition to be more expensive than your IOP, as long as you have a great back-end process. And so in this case, right, our cost per acquisition, $44. So every time I gave Facebook $44, I earned $37 back. I lost money on the IOP, but that's okay because the ultimate process kicked in, right? So in my ads, I had a few different versions of ads, okay? And the two that won for me were the nervous first-timer and the community-minded citizen. The ads that talked about the largest concealed carry class in Ocala, those ones didn't do very well. The ads that were super hoorah and hyped up, those didn't do so well. And so what I want to do is I want to play for you the top 2 ads so that you guys can see what those ads are and hopefully mirror those in your own accounts. And so we're going to go to our maximum date range, and I'm just going to play these ads. They're about 37 seconds or so. So we're going to go into the Flex Concealed Carry class, and we're going to play the ads for you. Let's see, it was this one here. And we're going to sort by results. And these are the top 2 ads. So here we go. I'm just going to go into it, expand it right here. And we're going to take a look. Here is ad number 1. The top performer. Hey Ocala, if you want to start concealed carrying, but you're a little bit nervous about the whole gun world, I get it. I've trained over 30,000 students right here in Ocala, and most of them started out nervous and anxious about even holding a gun, let alone carrying concealed. I'm taking away every excuse for you not to get started becoming a confident concealed carrier, because on Saturday, April 4th, I'm holding a 3-hour class in a welcoming, fun environment where you'll learn everything you need to get started. Class is just $37, and if you don't have the most fun and entertaining gun experience of your life, I'll give you a full refund. So click this ad, get signed up right now, and I'll see you there. Hey, all right, so there is ad number 1. That was the best one. And then number 2 was this one here, which I'll play also. Oops, I missed it. Number 2 was right here. Ocala, if you believe this city is worth protecting and you want to be part of making it safer, this is for you. On Saturday, April 4th, I'm hosting the largest concealed carry class in Ocala history. This isn't about money, it's about freedom and safety. I'm challenging you to take a stand against violent crime and join over 100 people who want to become protectors as well. We're sending a message to the world that Ocala is going to become the safest place in America to live. Join with me to raise the standards of safety and freedom right here at home. Click the. So that was the ad, and the winner, clearly by clear margin, was the nervous first timer. Okay, and it's really interesting when I kind of broke down that, because I wanted to really understand, like, why was that ad the top performer over the hoorah and let's go change the world and let's make a big difference. And it's because, in my opinion, my best performing ad had nothing to do with the actual class. It had everything to do with what the prospect was feeling before they even said it out loud. And when we went around the room, we asked people why they were there, which, by the way, no matter what business you're in, if you're getting new timers into your business, the first thing I want you to do is ask them why they are there, right? What motivated them to take the class, and then start creating ad copy, content, landing pages, written text, blog posts, videos around those reasons, right? It was that they had this feeling before they said it out loud. And so my ad basically hit on that and said, look, I know you're nervous. That's exactly why you should come to this class, right? And, feeling seen, when that person feels seen, like, wait, that's me. That's the first sign of trust. Remember, this is cold traffic. They are looking for a reason to not trust you. They are looking for a reason not to buy. Let's not give it to them. Let's make them know that we understand what they're feeling. Trust is what converts cold traffic. I'm going to say that again. Trust is the most important thing when you're converting cold traffic, is trust. And so the landing page, the headline said, join the largest concealed carry class in Ocala history. And I tested that on a split test versus the split test version that didn't say anything about the concealed carry class. And this was the clear winner. And the headline, what it's doing is it's selling identity, right? Nobody wakes up, and we've said this a lot, nobody wakes up wanting to attend a class. And the sub-headline basically said, make history and help inspire Ocala to take action, right? And then it said, your family deserves a protector. And the reason that I came up with that language, and this is really important, is that a lot of us are going to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is giving us a foundation, and they're giving us content. And what a lot of us are doing is we're copying and pasting that content right on our websites, and then we're surprised that our ads aren't working. We're surprised when we're using only a ChatGPT script. We need to use the marketing skills that I'm teaching you to take that foundation that ChatGPT gives us and go deeper. Okay, we need to go deeper into, because it's just giving us, what ChatGPT does is it searches the internet and it just pulls in internet garbage, right? And it's just very surface, and it does the hard work for us, but we need to go deeper on that. And so when I thought, like, how am I going to convince people to join? Well, number one is make history, right? And so not only is that a sense of a deeper meaning, it's also a sense of urgency, because we're only doing this one day, right? So we are saying it's urgent because it's one day. Inspire Ocala to action. This is saying, like, I know that you're nervous, but I want you to overcome your nervousness, not for you, but for everybody else. And that, I think, really makes a big difference. Your family deserves a protector, right? We're saying in that, like, you need to step up and lead, right? And so the CTA button included the price, because the price is drastically lower than you'll find a typical concealed carry class in our area, and probably yours. And then the button pre-qualifies every click and reduces buyer remorse. It doesn't have them surprised, so they're moving forward. Again, I've got the stats down below, but basically the average order value was $57.91. So right after they made a decision to buy, they're presented with an order bump right then and there. Okay, the order bump is a $27 online course. So for the people that are really nervous, I basically say, if you don't want to look embarrassed in class, another feeling, right? It's all about feeling. Get the Intro to Firearms online course and show up ready. Add it now to your order for just 27 bucks, right? So basically I'm saying, hey, I know you're nervous, spend 27 extra dollars and I'll make you feel better before class, right? So at that point, their credit card's already out. The mental barrier to spending money is already crossed. We've already had them walk through that tripwire, right? And adding $27 it means they don't have to actually make any additional decision, right? And making it easy, because it's just one little checkbox, makes it super easy. If you are not using order bumps on your checkout processes, you're losing money. You're leaving money on the table. You need to have order bumps, okay? And then the upsell. So right after the order bump is a separate page. It's a separate page. So a new page loads. And at the top of the page is the offer, and at the bottom of the page is a one-click order bump, a one-click upsell, which means they don't have to enter their card again They just press one button at the bottom of the screen. Again, if you are not using this, you are leaving money on the table. This brought in $596. And what I offered was a $149 semi-private workshop, because I knew a small amount of people would take this in advance directly with me. And this is straight at the shooting range. And I satisfied this yesterday, met people on the shooting range, and that earned an additional $596 that would not have come in. And again, the only point of this and your IOP, the only point of that is to pay yourself back for your Facebook ads. So it's totally okay to lose money, break money, make a few bucks, but your goal should not be to earn money off Facebook ads. And what I mean by that is it's okay to lose money, break even, or only make a small amount. I have this discussion all the time with new people who join the coaching program, is they say, hey, I feel like that initial class is just too cheap. Why don't we just double that amount? Okay, well, if you don't want people to sign up, double that amount, right? But if you like money, trust the process. Because the idea is we need to convince somebody that doesn't trust you, that doesn't know you, that doesn't have a relationship and has never met you, and has been burned and scammed and had their credit card stolen in the past. We have to convince them that risking their money up front is worth it because of the value they're getting, okay? And that's what we have to do. And that's what we're fighting against. We're not just fighting against our offer. We're fighting against all the times that they've been scammed and ripped off and cheated before. And it comes on you, and you need to solve that problem with having what we call an irresistible offer, right? And so your goal during sign up, your goal during your initial ad run is to get 3% of all people that land on your landing page, that land on your funnel, to make the purchase. So if 100 people land on your landing page, you need 3% of people to actually make that purchase. On your order bump, you want to have 20% of people that accept it, right? So this is the order bump before the second page. You want 20% of people to check that box and accept your order bump. And then on your one-click upsell, the very next page that loads, you want to have at least 10% of people that accept that as well. Now, my stats were a little bit low from that, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. So here's the math, and I'm going to run through this really quickly because this is why it works, right? So what a lot of instructors look at, what a lot of businesses look at, is they look at my ad cost. And that's why I have this in red, and then what's actually reality in green. So we're saying, hey, every time we spend $41.29 on Facebook, we get $37 back, right? That is the true number. That is the true math, right? Every time we spend $41.29, we get $37 back. So it looks like a loss. And most businesses are going to stop there because they're like, Facebook ads don't work, I'm out. And that ignores the real process of the purchase. The question is not how much money did we make on this ad? The question is, what did we receive in 30-day cash collected? And the reason that we want to say 30-day cash collected is because we all have access to money that we can use for 30 days and pay back with no interest, right? I've got an Amex card. I'm sure you do too. And what we can do is we can run our ads on Facebook, pay the bill with 30-day cash collected, and we turn that free interest money, right, into real business. And so I literally have my Amex card connected to my Facebook ads account. That's the majority of what I use that card for, is just to collect the points, paying that bill. And then my goal is to have 30-day cash collected before that bill comes due, right? So the real math with these 60 orders, my average cart value with all of the upsells and everything I had was $57. My order bump brought me $4.09 for each registration. So each new person that registered, I got another $4 out of them just by having that order bump. My $149 upsell average, I got another $9 per person for having that upsell. My back end average, I added $151 per sign up in return. So I actually earned $222 per registrant instead of just $37. And that's a business because, and then I subtract my ad cost, and that means that I had a 5.4 times, a 5.4x return on my investment. I would take that trade all day long. I would take it on the road across the country. This is amazing, all right? So 10 out of 80 students, so 10 people, 80 students signed the liability waiver that morning. 10 of the 80 signed up for the $997 training package at the end of the class. And I deal with this all the time. I dealt with this morning. I was on a strategy call inviting a guy to the coaching program, and he said, Andy, the people in my area would never spend $997 on anything. And I went out to dinner with the group. I brought everybody out to a Brazilian steakhouse, everybody that volunteered with the class. And one of the instructors that had been teaching for 20-something years, he came to me at the end of dinner and he said, Andy, I can't believe that I just saw you get 10 people in Ocala, Florida to accept a $1,000 offer. I can't believe that you did that. I can't believe people in our area would do that. I'm telling you, people will accept if you offer. If you've got an irresistible offer, they will take it, right? So 10 out of 80 students bought the $997 training package at the end of the class. That's a 12.5% conversion rate. So the front end offer total was $4,418. The back end was $9,970, and it was 69% of the revenue. And so one of the problems that I see, and let me see if I can get the ranks manual out really quickly here. I didn't have it ready, but I'm just thinking like the ranks manual needs to be brought out. So for those of you who are in the program, right? We go initiate, operator, guardian, warrior. Initiate to operator is easy. You start a Facebook ad, you're an operator. Then when you have your Facebook ad going and you've got your classes starting to fill, almost everybody in this group stops there. They don't move forward. They don't launch their invitation because the transformation from initiate to operator, they're like, holy smokes, I can't believe my classes are filled. And they get so busy with the busy work of filling their classes that they're leaving 70% of the revenue on the table. So I implore you to continue your skill, that as soon as your classes are filled, that's not the solution. The next step, as soon as that initial offer product is being sold, that's not the solution. The next step is to become a guardian. And to become a guardian, the very first thing you need to do, and the only thing you need to do, is have 75% of your IOPs sold and sell at least one high ticket program to yours. Now, that said, I have a special second here. I'm going to bust out the sword. Josh has sold his first IOP, his first $997 program. So Josh, this is your official knighting in front of the group. Okay, you're officially a guardian. And so congratulations. That's super exciting. And I can't wait for you to become a warrior and make me ship you a sword. But now everything that you should be focused on, now that your classes are filled and that you just sold your first high ticket program, is doubling down on that high ticket, which we're going to talk a little about that today. So congratulations to you becoming an operator. So the hard part is that we really need to grind, because once we have our IOPs sold, once we are selling those $37 things or whatever it is to get people through the door, we need to start selling our high ticket over and over and over. We need to get better and better and better at it. Okay. And so when I gave my invitation, this was super exciting. Josh captured it on an 8-second video. I'm going to show you here in a second. But during my invitation, where I stood in front of the class and I said, I want you to go in the back of the room and pay $1,000 to sign up for the program. It was a really miraculous result. We've got an 8-second clip to show you. It doesn't really capture the moment exactly the way that I wish it did. I am waiting for the video from my professional video guy, but this is what we have so far. Take a look. This is the moment I asked for this.
What I want you to do right now, I want you to stand up, walk to the back of the room, because my team is waiting for you to get signed up. Let's cheer for everybody that's taking it.
Okay, so I'm gonna replay that one more time.
What I want you to do right now, I want you to stand up, walk to the back of the room, because my team is waiting for you to get signed up.
Okay, so we have one person stand up, one person stand up, one person stand up, one person stand up. Immediately, as soon as I gave the close and I said, I want you to stand up, go to the back of the room and pay, $4,000 stood up. That is powerful. Ultimately, we closed 10, right? But instantly, $4,000 stood up. And I'll tell you guys, I was, I haven't been in the classroom in a long time, and not in a classroom that big in a long time. It's kind of like riding a bike, I guess. But, I have given this invitation over the years again and again and again and again. And when you are about to give your invitation, what you are going to feel, and I could not avoid this on Saturday either, you're going to feel, who am I to give this $1,000 invitation? Does my product even, so is it even worth $1,000? How can I be the one standing up front and doing it? You know what? This is stupid. I'm just going to do it next class, right? And that's what happens. And so you put it off and you put it off and you put it off. We need to get good at it, and the only way to get good at it is by doing it. And the only way to get to do it is to start where you're at now. Okay. And so it was a miraculous moment, one that we will never forget. And the reason that people accepted the invitation, okay, a couple of reasons. Number one, they believed that the problem that they're facing is real. So whatever you're selling, you need them to believe that the problem is real. You're solving a problem that exists. The problem that you're solving is urgent. We have to take action today. The solution that you're presenting actually works. That it's going to work for that person. I can't tell you the amount of people that say, yeah, but you haven't really seen me, right? I've trained 30,000 people. There's nothing I haven't seen, right? I've certified over 3,000 firearm instructors. There's nothing I haven't seen. And yet people will say my situation is different. My business is different. My location is different. And honestly, like, it's going to work for you. It's been tested, right? You just need them to believe that, right? And then they need to believe that your solution is the right method to achieve their dream outcome, right? It needs to be the right method to achieve their dream outcome. And just add another sense of, right, when we went over, and this didn't make it into the PowerPoint, but it should have. I want you to remember the elements of an irresistible offer, okay? An irresistible offer has a dream outcome. The dream outcome is what they want. It's ultimately what they're there for. They're not there because they want to learn how to dance or because they want to learn how to shoot. What are they actually there for? What is the dream outcome? It's because they want their friends and family to be proud of them. They want their friends and family to know that they're a protector and they're safe, right? They want to feel comfortable. They want to feel safe. They want to enjoy themselves more, in certain situations and not be nervous, right? And so the perceived outcome, the ideal outcome, the dream outcome, it needs to be really focused on and harped on in your close, in your invitation. Then you need to have a sense of urgency. Urgency is a product of time, right? We need to have a sense of urgency that if we don't sign up now, it's not going to happen in the future. Scarcity, which is a sense of amount, a quantity of some sort, that there's not enough to go around, right? Because if they feel like they can buy it tomorrow and there's going to be plenty, there's no reason to buy, right? We need to have an element of a guarantee, right? I guarantee that this is going to happen, or here's what I'm going to do. My guarantee in that event was that if they don't feel 10,000% comfortable to carry daily, I'll work with them every day until they do. That was my guarantee. And we need to take the element of an irresistible offer and make our invitation even more irresistible. And just a side note for the invitation. My PowerPoint for class was 12 slides long. My PowerPoint for my invitation was 101. 101 slides that I went over in 10 minutes flat. And the reason that I have 101 slides in my invitation is for one reason and one reason only. And that is so that I am perfect and exactly the same every single time. And if I need to adjust, I can adjust one slide and try it the next class. Adjust one slide and try it the next class. And then there's no skill level that's involved. The only thing I need to do is I need to plan for my pauses and plan for my intonation of my voice. And that's it. And now you take that PowerPoint and you hand that off to somebody else in your team. So now, even if they're not a good person for closing, even if they're not great at the invitation, they just follow the script. And the script is there. There have been times in my career where I give commission checks based on sales, but I also write a check if they followed the script exactly. Because that is the most important thing, is making it as good as you can. And if you're just winging it every time, you're not going to get it. That's why my 100, and Jim even told me before the event, the night before, I was like, Jim, yeah, my PowerPoint's 101 slides. He's like, don't do it. He's like, have you thought about this? And I wrote the PowerPoint the night before. I wrote the invitation the night before based on experience, right? So I didn't stand up and present it and practice it but I just knew that every word that I was going to say was on that PowerPoint so that I could make an experience even during that invitation. Okay. And so the only way that this works is if every piece that you do connects. You need to have the offer to fill the room, the ads to drive cold traffic profitably, the funnel, which converts cold traffic into registrations, the class, which builds trust and creates desire, and then the invitation, which captures the money that's already in the room. Okay. And so your action steps this week, if you do not have an invitation, if you do not have an IOP, these are your action items. Number one, I want you to build your offer stack. What is your dream outcome, right? Chet, your dream outcome is shooting like a champion, right? Donna, your dream outcome is, that people aren't making a fool of themselves on the dance floor, right? Instructors, your dream outcome is that people are safe and the protectors of their family, right? And then I want you to set up your ad account with decision-making data. I've already walked through it. Results, CPA, CTR, outbound CTR, frequency, everything that I discussed in this, I want you to set up your ad account doing that. I want you to start naming your ads by the angle that you're using, and I want you to start creating ads with an angle in it. And then I want you to write your invitation, which is the honest next step after your next class. That said, guys, I know this was a little bit long, but I wanted you guys to really dive in and understand this. What are your questions for me?